In this video, we're going to talk about culture shocks in Spain that nobody talks about.
I experienced the knobs are near the doors.
Yeah.
Nope.
No. Mom, is he supposed to be driving on the sidewalk? I'm like, no, honey, he's not.
No. At a restaurant, they don't serve water.
Madness. Drives me bonkers.
Why am I playing hopscotch through a maze of dog poo?
Yeah, right.
Give me some water. I need some water. Lots of
Guess what they
mosquitoes.
don't have?
They don't have screens.
They don't have screens?
Nope. Dude coming at you from different angles. I'm like, there goes my paint job.
Yeah, you've heard about tapas and siestas and the late night dinners, but let's talk about the stuff no one warns you about, right? Like fearing for your life and motos are coming at you from all angles. And why am I playing hopscotch through a maze of dog poo?
And don't even let me get started on trying to find anything in a grocery store or why the most wonderful time of the year is shut down. Today, we're diving into the real culture shocks that we experienced after living in Spain and not just the stuff that everyone talks about.
Yeah, that's right. This isn't the typical, Spain is so charming and different conversation. We're going to go deep into the things that made us scratch our heads, laugh, and frankly, even lose our patience a few times.
So if you're thinking of moving abroad, this is not an episode that you're going to want to miss. So let's get into it.
New horizons start to glow.
All right, first culture shock, it's dining. It drives me bad. And then firstly, all this stuff, we love Spain, right? So we've chosen to live here for 4 years. These are just things that are just so different than one we experience in the US that people should know about. So one of my biggest things that it was a culture shock and frankly is a pet peeve for me is when we're dining or any sort of meal at a restaurant, they don't serve water.
Yeah.
It drives me nuts. By the way, we're drinking alcohol sometimes and dude, I'm gonna dehydrate here.
Yeah, right.
Give me some water. I need some water.
Right. It's not intuitive, so they won't serve it to you, but they'll ask you if you want water, and if you say you want water, then they'll give you a bottle of water, which they make you pay for.
Yeah.
Now, the secret is, I don't know if I should reveal the secret,
You should reveal
but the secret is you have to ask for water from the tap, and you have to ask for a glass of water from the tap.
Yeah.
If you ask for a glass of water from the tap, then they're required to give you water.
By law.
By law.
By law, they're required to give you. So you can ask for a jar, a jarra of water, but that's where it gets complicated. They was like, no, we don't have a jarra, right? Then you got to back up to dame un vaso, give me a cup of water. And you got to, not just if you're with 6 people, because we're a family of 6, you got to be very clear. Give me a cup of water for each person, because they'll come out with one glass.
Yeah, one
glass. With water, and you have to ask repeatedly to get more water.
Yeah, they won't just refill your cup once your water from the tap is empty.
Yeah.
So
that is one of my biggest pet peeves. Just I don't. Is it because we're in a desert climate? There's a scarcity in water, a drought. I don't know what it is, but they're we're really healthy in Spain. Water is part of being healthy.
Yeah. It's funny because I was just traveling with my son in London, and in London I was so surprised. They just came out with water and they kept refilling my cup with water. I was like, this is awesome. This is so great. So yeah, it's little things like that sort of irk me sometimes.
Yeah, but that's not the only thing during dining.
No. So another thing with dining is the tipping culture. Okay. So the good and the bad of tipping in Spain. Tipping isn't typically a thing here because servers are paid a salary. So typically they do their job. If they've done a great job and you really feel like they've gone above and beyond, then you can leave a little tip to say thank you. They're not expecting anything, to be honest. And that's the good thing. The good thing is it makes your meal a lot more affordable. But the bad thing is they're really not motivated very much to serve you. So if you really want something, when they come around, you better make sure that you know what you want, quickly. You want to tell them, okay, this is what we want. We want all these things, because it may be another half an hour before they come back to your table.
Yeah, that's part of the culture too. So there's a concept called sobremesa, right? So when we have a meal here, it really is not just eat and go.
Right.
It's enjoy time with the family and your friends and sort of enjoy life. So that's the good. But if you're coming from the U.S. where it's hey, in and out and turn over tables it's a major concept, then it's a real culture shock. You're like, dude, like you almost think it's rude. It's not rude. It's different.
The good thing is too, they'll never kick you out. So you could be there 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, and they'll wait and wait and wait. I mean, sometimes they'll say, hey guys, come on, let's go. But for the most part,
That's if they want to go home.
yeah,
right?
if they want to go, for the
or
most
go
part,
party, right?
you know,
Yeah.
they're happy. They're just, you know, they're just doing their job, and they'll, you know, you can stay there as long as you need to until you wrap up your meal, and there's no pressure. So, and again, that's not in every restaurant. There are some, especially if you're in a big city, some of the restaurants, you know, they want to turn over those tables, but
And
for
more
the
touristy section.
Yeah.
It'll be more what you expect.
Yeah.
But if you're in the neighborhoods, yeah, you could just chill out there forever and trying to get your bill. Again, like if you're coming like, hey, I want my bill. Why haven't you brought my bill? It's rude, like bad service. It's not bad service, just different service. But it absolutely feels like you could pull your hair out. Like, dude, I gotta go.
Yeah.
Like, can I get my bill?
Right.
So it's not rude, it's relaxed, and sometimes it just takes a little getting used to.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so that's culture shock number 1. Let's talk about culture shock number 2.
I'm going to start here. It's the store organization madness. Drives me bonkers. So I don't know. I'm from the U.S., so I'm used to, you know, walking the outside aisles of the store to get, you know, my vegetables, my fruits, my, you know, everything is sort of organized in any store, grocery store in the United States. Not in Spain. Spain is like, what? I don't know. I don't know what the organization is, but stuff is not where it should be. So, for example, flour is not with sugar, which, you know, makes sense to me because it's both are used in baking. No,
This is a thing for you on the groceries.
okay.
Like, yeah.
But the other thing is like sauces, like mayonnaise, not next to ketchup. No.
True.
Yeah. Spices, you might find spices in one section of the. I mean, and when I mean section, I mean like not like on the same aisle. I mean like in a totally different section of the store, maybe even on a second level.
Yeah.
And it just drives me crazy, and you know, it's just frustrating for me.
It is. Some of
The stuff that's on the second level, because now they're not as big. So that's the plus is like if you're used to all the different options in the U.S.,
True.
you don't get as
You have
many
maybe,
options, right?
You know, three options for cereal
Yeah.
instead of a whole aisle of
Yeah,
cereal.
exactly.
3 different types of yogurt. You know, like some of the bigger stores.
So
have more,
the
but-
silver lining is you don't know where stuff is, but it's a smaller store, so you figure it out.
gotta take what you can get.
You'll go up a couple different aisles, and you'll eventually get there.
Yeah,
for sure.
exactly.
So for me on the store side of it, it's the hardware store. So like
Yeah.
I was a Home Depot, Lowe's guy every single week, and going there, I knew where to get my stuff. So the equivalent of like that here is a store called Leroy Merlin. I got to tell you, I can't find stuff. Like I what should be like a 5-10 minute exercise is like an hour.
Yeah.
Like I'm going in like I had to go change doorknobs the other day, and like I go to the door section. Typically, you know, in my experience, the knobs are near the doors.
Yeah.
Nope.
No.
Nope. Not near them. And so like I spent, and I was frustrated about the door not being broken anyway. So let's just put like caveat, just be fair to the world of like hardware store organizers out there.
Yeah.
I was not in a great state.
You go to a real hardware store where it's not like not a chain store. Forget about it. You're not finding anything.
Dude,
Nothing.
what a mess
you
that
just
is.
you go in and it's like you go to the counter and say I need this, and then they will go and recover it for you because everything is from floor to ceiling packed, jam packed with stuff, and you would never ever.
Yeah.
know.
I go in and out because like I literally I'm like there's just too much going on here.
Yeah.
It's gonna make my
Forget
brain go.
about
I'm
it.
just leaving. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is definitely one of the big like culture shocks, and just drove me a little bit batty when we first experienced that.
It's like it's not chaos like we call it. It's just different. Is there a different logic? They know where it is. They are there to help you find it. They're the expert, and so you know they'll get it for you.
Yeah.
But
All right.
Now let's talk about one that absolutely makes my head explode.
uh-oh.
Road rules and etiquette on the road.
Yeah.
And not just in Spain. This is common in different parts of Europe. Like I've experienced this in Italy.
We drive.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a lot of hate mail right now. I know it, but like the motorcycles, scooters, motos, freaking drive me nuts. Like absolutely crazy. Like you fear for your life. Like they're coming at all different angles.
It's really bad.
Yeah, like I'm like, you should be safe. You should feel safe as you're walking down your sidewalk.
Yeah.
Right. But motos park anywhere.
Even my daughter said the other day, Mom, is he supposed to be driving on the sidewalk? I'm like, no,
No,
he's not.
no.
He's not.
I'm
But
dodging and weaving.
nobody Nobody cares. They don't get tickets. Not that I've seen.
No,
I've never seen a moto pulled over.
no, unless it got hit by a car, which by the way,
It says like
That
don't even
does
start
happen.
about safety
Yeah.
issues. Like, but in any case, like they live by their own
Their
different
rules.
rules.
Yes.
Like again, pet peeve. I'm stopped at a red light. Like they will cram into you leave any little bit of
Three
space.
coming at you.
Three coming at you from
Right.
different angles. Like I'm like, there goes my paint job.
Yeah.
Right, they're gonna scratch my paint so they can get 5 feet in front of you so that when the light changes, they're off and running.
It's true.
So yeah, culture shocks. Like as you're driving in Europe and Spain, like you just gotta know there's this thing called a moto, and they own the world.
Just
Like,
let it go.
and like, listen,
Your mom has to let it
Spaniards
go.
love it. They love it.
Oh yeah, you can't knock them over.
no, are you kidding me? Like I
It's so
really,
efficient.
I may lose like 10 frames just by
Just for
talking
this
about this, but
conversation.
it is. I get it. So logically, I get it.
Yeah, it makes sense.
It makes sense in an urban center.
It's
where
efficient.
it's hard to find parking, small streets as sort of like, I mean, it's centuries old, right? Like,
Yeah,
so-
less use of gas.
absolutely.
You know, so
Yeah. They just need to follow the rules. Like they shouldn't have separate, traffic rules.
not going to happen.
Yeah.
Speaking of rules, the rules of the road here are quite different too. I've been an experienced driver since I was 16 years old. I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but I've been
older than
driving
16?
for a long time. But I had to take my driver's test again here in Spain because they don't recognize the United States driver's license. So I did have to retake my exam, which included taking classes with a teacher, a driver instructor, and that was let me just say that was probably one of the worst experiences
Painful.
of my life here in Spain,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I think a lot of other people will agree. But the thing that really drives me bonkers that I had learned during my my driving test experience was the doble stop. If you don't have your driver's license here in Spain, you don't know what I'm talking about. The doble stop is double stop, what it means in Spanish. And basically you stop at the stop sign, and then you go into the middle of the street and you make a full stop again and look right, look left, make sure there's no traffic, and then you proceed to go. Well, it is the most dangerous thing in the world.
Yeah, you pull into the intersection where there's like traffic going fast both ways, right? Yeah, but
So-
you have to stop.
You have to stop. So it's the unwritten rule in Spain when you're taking your driver's test is the double stop. Make sure you master it. Again, you have to like retrain your brain because in the US, you're taught, at least in Pennsylvania, where I got my driver's license, you're taught that that's dangerous. You know, you're not supposed to stop in the middle of the street. You slowly go in until you know that it's safe. And then
Yeah, I mean,
proceed.
if you get an obstruction, you sort of like creep up so you can get past the obstruction. But this is like, get past the obstruction, stop. Full stop.
Full stop.
Look both ways. And like, you'll fail your driver's test
You will.
if you don't double stop. By the way, and I don't think I saw it anywhere in any of the litures that there's technically...
I don't know that it's a written rule, but it's definitely a rule.
Yeah, it's like baseball. There's some written rules
Unwritten
and some unspoken rules. Yeah,
So
for sure.
don't forget the double
Yeah,
stop.
the double stop.
Next culture shock, holiday season. Let's talk about this one because this is
The most wonderful time. No,
not, well, it is unless you don't prepare like we have the last 4 years.
we haven't learned our lesson.
No, we don't. Like we've learned some good lessons, but don't listen. So Christmas Eve.
First of all, let me just stop
Yeah.
because Christmas is a lovely time of year around here. We do celebrate Christmas, and Spanish do as well. Although what I'll say is their more relevant and important holiday is Three Kings Day, which takes place in January. So Christmas is celebrated; it's very important, but it's more of a family day.
Yeah.
It's kind of, I would say, more like our Thanksgiving if you're from the U.S. Their Christmas is sort of more like that. Like it's a day of hanging out with your family, having a nice meal, but the presents and the gifts and the Santa and all that happens usually later.
Yeah.
And that's not for all families, but in general.
Yeah.
So it is a lovely time of year, but like Guillermo said, everything shuts down on Christmas Eve.
And way earlier than we're used to. So we go to, we got young kids, and so we'll go to the family service, which is early.
Yeah.
Right. We don't go to midnight mass, and we'll go to we roll out thinking, all right, we'll just go get something to eat. Nothing. Like failure. In fact, I even made a reservation this last year.
2 years in a row.
2 years in a row. Got there, it was shut down. there's a Peruvian restaurant. You know who you are. You took my reservation and you were closed. So it is frustrating. I can't remember the term, but like we've given it a term like akin to Armageddon. Like it's just a failure. Now it's a comical thing. The kids are like, yeah, we're not going to eat.
Yeah, and New Year's is the same. I mean, in the U.S., New Year's is like a huge, big party time. Everybody has special events and meals and special dinners, and you know, it's just not like that here.
Yeah.
It's a time for you to celebrate with your family.
Now, what I would say, the good part of it is it actually is what it's supposed to be, in my opinion, right? Like it's a holiday is a time to spend with family and friends and really enjoy each other. One of my biggest, you know, sort of reverse culture shock and things that I don't miss about the U.S. is Thanksgiving. It's become really commercial about, you know, Black Friday used to be Black Friday. Now it's like, you know, Thursday morning, right? And so
it takes away.
It does take away from sort of what it's meant to be and losses some of its meaning. The meaning is here.
That is true.
But again, we're talking about culture shocks, things that you're not used to when you're moving to. This is one of them you should know about.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, especially when you eat on Christmas Eve.
Make sure that you order food ahead of time, or you plan your meals.
Well, that's what the Spaniards do. Like, right?
Yeah.
They actually, there are companies and there's outfits where you can order your
you
food.
pick up your meal.
You pick up your meal,
early.
you take it home, and you eat it at home.
Plus, they're eating their big meal at like 2:00.
Yeah, that's
and
fair.
and not waiting until 7 like we do.
Yeah.
So
that's stuff that
We still struggle with,
Yes.
But yeah, so maybe that'll be the thing we do this year. We'll actually cater out. Yeah, all right.
Or we go somewhere else to some other country and see what they do.
Awesome, cool. All right, so next one. Let's talk about AC and the windows.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're super spoiled.
Yeah, this is again, disclaimer, this is going to sound very American, very U.S.
whiny
Yeah,
Americans,
very whiny
yeah.
American, but
We're just like here. They don't like to use their AC, the air conditioner. They I've heard from a lot of folks, a lot of native folks here, that the air conditioner makes you sick,
Yeah.
and so they don't believe in using it. They
You will
very
get a cold.
sparingly using.
Right.
Yeah,
you will get a cold.
if you use the AC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true or not.
I don't know the science behind it. I just, I mean, I got to tell you, sometimes I don't feel good when I'm with AC, but I have never heard anybody say that you will definitively get a cold if you use AC. But that is the belief system
So
amongst
they're
a
just
lot of
happy
people.
to sweat it out, and I'm just not.
Well, so it's funny because, it's now 100 degrees here. It's July, right? It's beautiful in the morning, 61 degrees Fahrenheit. We're talking about, not Celsius. And then it gets 100 degrees.
Yep.
And then at night it gets down again to cooler temperatures. So at the 100-degree mark, I was like, you know what? One of our rooms doesn't have AC. Let me go look. And I went to that Leroy Merlin to go find it. And it's funny. I go to the AC section. There is nobody there. But it's a madhouse in the fans, right? Like, literally, I couldn't.
your fans on.
People are like chucking each other, throwing elbows, trying to get ceiling fans. And that's what it is. So, people here will have fans. They'll open up the windows. They have these blinds that you can put down. So like,
There's
you got
a whole science.
signs. You got to keep the windows open. Have the blinds down. Have a little crack like this maybe during the high season.
We got it all wrong. We got it all wrong. We got it. They've already told me I'm all wrong.
I know we're all wrong.
The thing is, I'm hot. Like I tried it. I'm still sweating. It's not like I'm not happy about it.
They open the windows in the morning when it's nice and breezy. It's beautiful. But they keep the persianas down, so they keep them low, the shades down low. And then the shade goes all the way down in the afternoon when it's really, really hot.
Yeah.
And then at night they open them up again.
Yeah, but I'm living in the cave. So I need sun because again
They're not in their houses.
I get grouchy if it's too dark, and I feel like I'm living in a cave. But so the other thing is like if I get it, they got a system, it works for them for centuries. I still can't get over the fact, like, Harry, if the whole basis of like, let's keep the fresh air going, let's keep the windows open, there's a lot of mosquitoes and bugs in here, right?
That's true.
Right?
Facts.
Facts. Lots of
Guess what they
mosquitoes.
don't have?
They don't have screens.
They don't have screens.
Nope. So like for a place where they have like, hey, this is gonna be our ventilation system, right? We're gonna have windows that are open. We're gonna have fans, and I was like, no defense for the mosquitoes?
None.
No?
No.
You know what they have? They have these plants.
Yeah.
They don't work. Sorry, man. Give me some DEET.
Yeah. Stop it. Well, I just can't with the bugs, so I have installed mosquiteras, which are big, basically mosquito screens, they call them,
Yeah.
on every window in our house. So
Yeah.
that's just I must have sweet blood because I get attacked.
I think that's going to be my next business venture is create windows with screens, and I think it'll take off. Maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know. I'll focus on this.
What's next? What's next
All
on our
right.
agenda?
Last but not least, this is gonna ruffle some feathers too. I think
Yeah, the streets here.
The streets.
So clean.
they are
So clean.
All right. So let's talk about the good first.
Yeah, the
right?
good.
Yeah.
The good. You want me to go?
Yeah. You go. Go for it.
So, Spain does a really excellent job of keeping their streets clean. They have systems and they have trucks that come around every day with hoses, and they have people that sweep. And honestly, the streets are beautifully.
Hoses.
Yeah.
Like I mean, they
the truck
literally-
has a hose. in
hose.
front
They
of
got
it.
this lady who's just hosing down the
Yeah.
streets and cleaning it,
Yeah.
even when it's raining.
Right.
Like I'm like, dude, conserve and
Yeah, it's
water.
raining out, but
Right,
okay.
we can't get water at a table, but we can get it on the streets. You could-
That's true. Yeah, I know.
But all right, but
there's the
yeah.
good news. The good news is the streets are clean. Bad news, sidewalks.
I'm literally minefield of dog shit just everywhere. Sorry,
Everywhere.
poo, shit, whatever it is. I'm walking through it like maybe it's because this is my lean theory. Because they know that somebody coming to clean up,
Yeah.
people walk their dogs and just don't
Clean
pick
up
up after themselves, right?
Now, it's not all people.
Not all.
We definitely clean up after our dog.
No. But there's definitely a guy with curly hair right up on my street that does not. That guy, clean up after your dog.
I don't get it. I don't get it. They take so much pride in how clean their streets are, but then they just let their dog poo everywhere. It's
and
just,
they love their dogs, right? Because
Yeah,
they're in the
no.
malls,
Everybody
they're in
has dogs
restaurants,
everywhere,
they're in
yeah.
that Leroy Merlin place I talked about. Like I don't see poo in Leroy Merlin.
No.
Like no,
not there.
But it's on the streets and it just doesn't get picked up.
I don't know.
Drives me.
It's the
absolutely
contradiction that every expat
bonkers.
notices,
Yeah.
and all of our friends, we all like
Yeah, they're
It's
like,
a
dude,
thing.
those are the cleanest streets ever. But what's with the dog?
Dog poo.
Yeah,
Everywhere.
everywhere. Like you when you're walking to the gym, just don't be in your phone, right? I learned that the hard way.
Oh yeah.
Because if you're in your phone, you're gonna step on some dog poop.
Yeah.
On the way to the gym.
Yeah,
just-
make sure you're
just
paying
don't do it.
attention,
Yeah,
or do doing the hopscotch moves like Guillermo does.
yeah, it's
down the
not
street.
yeah.
So if you're dreaming about that expat life, just know it's not all sangria and sunsets. Sometimes it's scooters zipping past you while you're sweating in front of a fan because no one believes in AC.
Yeah, exactly. But it's it's all part of the adventure. And honestly, we wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. We just wish somebody had told us about this stuff before we moved.
Yeah, we want to hear from you too. What culture shocks have you experienced, or what are you really nervous about? DM us or leave a comment below.
Yeah, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any, don't miss more real-time talk about life abroad, and share this with someone else who's ready to take the leap.
And if you're inclined, join our Expat Circle community where we share tips and insights just like these about Spain and other countries that expats are moving to. The link is in the description below. Thanks again for listening to Expat Living. We'll catch you next time.